Hey guys, this is Natalia, and today let's discuss how your significant other it's making you broke. When I was a child, something that my mom always kind of warned me about regarding relationships was how I should be prepared to lose and to have that feeling of getting the shortest side of the stick. And although that's not the case, I'm very lucky that I have a really great relationship. My mother's warnings come into play the more and more I realize that we as women do tend to lose a lot, especially financially, when we are in relationships. We're often warned about how to spot abusive relationships, and there's a lot of awareness being raised regarding the impact that relationship can have on a woman's health and a woman's well-being, even financial abuse that some women can be victims of. But we're not really, as a society, hear a lot, or at least I have not, about the impacts that relationships, especially romantic relationships, have on our careers and how they can affect our financial future. Of course, there's studies that out there that kind of like compare and contrast married women versus married men, and in these studies it's been found that married women tend to earn less and be less likely to be promoted than their married men counterpart. But we don't really hear much more about women in relationships and how these relationships could affect their financial future and could affect, of course, their careers. One of the things that I do notice is that women who are in a committed relationship, whether they're married or not, do tend to sacrifice more for their partners and for the relationship. Whereas men, like if they get a promotion in another city, it's usually the expectation that their girlfriends, it's gonna follow them, right? Or like their spouse, it's gonna follow them. Versus we as women don't really have those expectations, and we're even more likely to kind of reject opportunities in order to keep our relationships. And of course, this could affect our financial future and of course our professional future. And these inadequacies get even more heavy with couples who are not even married and like that protection. And the sacrifices that they're making for the relationship, sometimes it can go as being unnoticed or even unprotected. So what is it to do as women, and what are some of the things that we need to make sure that we are aware of the financial implications that our relationship could be affecting us on? I think that one of the most important things is to be very, very aware that that it's been ingrained in us that we are the ones to make these sacrifices. We are the ones who are taught since a very young age to kind of like make our relationship and make others the center of the universe. And to make sure that to have these conversations as to, okay, this is what's important to me and what I'm willing to sacrifice or to kind of compromise on in order for the relationship. Of course, relationships do tend to be a give and take. That's without a question. But how much are you given, and how all these things that you're given could be affecting your professional, and of course, your pocket. That's something that we don't really ask ourselves enough. And I invite you, woman, whether you are married or whether you are not, and especially if you are not, especially if you are cohabitating with your significant other, that it's something that I highly, like, call me old school, but I highly advise women and even men against it, because I do believe that a marriage does financially protect you from any type of, hazardous decision that could happen later on. And it is a commitment and it is a difference, but that's a subject for another day. To ask yourself the things that your significant other, it's kind of like whether it's criticizing you on, or whether it's kind of like holding you back from, even if it's not something that he's aware of, or even if it's not something that you're even aware of at this point. Although, like in my last video, I talked about the importance of balance, the importance of having a life outside of work. In this video, I do want to emphasize also the importance of balance within your relationships, and the importance of making sure that the partners that we choose, it's someone who is our cheerleader, and that sometimes it's not necessarily easy to find, and that this partner and you can be kind of like on the same page regarding the career advancements that you might have, and how these relationships kind of like in a way hold you back from a possible promotion or a possible opportunities in other cities, etc. I think as women, when it comes to our finances and the impact that our boyfriends or husbands can have in those, it's more noticeable in what we give up. So that's why we sometimes fall into this trap, as that we're like, I don't pay as much, or he's the one who contributes more within like the relationship, or if you're living together within the household. But what are the things that you're not doing for the relationship? Because we are all often expected to be the ones who give up the most, that are having an impact on your finances. And this is something especially important if you're not married, especially important if you're just living together. The things that you're not doing, that it's gonna impact your life. The purpose of this video, of course, is not to tell you not to date. It's not to tell you that your boyfriend sucks. It's to kind of like raise that conversation about the impact that relationship still to this day has on women, and how they impact your financial and your careers. I hope that you found it helpful. I hope that this is something that kind of raise awareness regarding the things you are doing, and how your significant really helps you in kind of like find a better way financially in order to be better and to better your life. So thank you guys, and until next time.